Shadows curl like smoke around the glass of wine. A whisper drifts across the bar, pretending to be mine. The saxophone is aching, the bass walks soft and slow, and in the dim reflection I see the love I know. Shadows curl like smoke, trembling in the air. Every vow you left me still lingers everywhere. The piano holds the sorrow, the silence cannot close. My heart dissolves in darkness as shadows curl like smoke. The candle fades to silence, the glass begins to blur. Every fading ember still carries dreams of her. The brushes paint a rhythm, the dawn is far away, but in the curling shadows your memory will stay. Shadows curl like smoke, trembling in the air. Every vow you left me still lingers everywhere. The saxophone is pleading, every note a stroke of sorrow painted softly as shadows curl like smoke. The morning creeps much colder, but still the night remains a fragile vow of ashes, repeating in my veins. And though I tremble, I revoke. The silence peace that surrounds me as shadows curl like smoke. The last glass on the table is trembling in the light, a witness to the silence that swallowed up the night. The candle bends to ashes, the shadows start to fade, but still the glass is waiting for promises we made. The last glass on the table, trembling cold and clear. Every vow you whispered still lingers here. The saxophone confesses what words could never say. The last glass on the table remembers yesterday. The piano plays a memory, the brushes paint the air, the bass recalls the moment we swore that love was there. Yet every note is breaking, dissolving into pain. The last glass still is watching, though nothing will remain. The last glass on the table, trembling cold and clear. Every vow you whispered still lingers here. The saxophone confesses what words could never say. The last glass on the table remembers yesterday. The dawn is gently creeping, the sand starts to glow, but still the table lingers with what I cannot show. And though the day is waking, the memory is able to live inside the silence. The last glass on the table. Echoes painted in blue are trembling through the bar, each note a fading memory of everything you are. The bass walks low and steady, the brushes trace the time, the piano sings a sorrow I cannot call mine. Echoes painted in blue, drifting in the haze. Every vow we buried still haunts these days. The saxophone confesses, tender tone and true. The night is filled with echoes, painted in blue. The candle's flame is breaking, the smoke curls in the glass, the silence grows much deeper, the shadows slowly pass, yet still the song is endless. The memory's too strong, the echoes keep repeating, they sing where I belong. Echoes painted in blue, drifting in the haze. Every vow we buried still haunts these days. The piano holds the sorrow, no silence can undo. The night is filled with echoes, painted in blue. The dawn is nearly rising. The echoes start to fade, but still the song is trembling with promises we made. And though the world is brighter, the night is always true. Forever I'll remember echoes painted in blue. Curtains of quiet rain fall against the glass, each drop a fragile memory of love that couldn't last. The piano holds the silence, the saxophone replies. A tapestry of sorrow unfolds before my eyes. Curtains of quiet rain, trembling on the ground. Every vow we whispered in the night walk slow and heavy. The memory will remain. A fragile vow is written in curtains of quiet rain. The candle flickers softly, the shadows bend and lean. The silence grows much deeper than anything I've seen. Yet still the rain keeps falling, a rhythm soft and true, a fragile song repeating the sorrow still is written in curtains of quiet rain. The dawn is faintly glowing, the night begins to break, but still the rain is falling for promises we made. Of quiet rain. The barstool left alone remembers where you sat. The glass is nearly empty, the silence answers that. The piano paints a shadow, the saxophone replies. The night is filled with sorrow that never truly dies. The barstool left alone, trembling in the glow. Every vow you whispered still lingers low. The bass recalls the silence, the brushes softly moan. The night remembers sorrow in the barstool left alone. The candle fades to ashes, the smoke curls in the air. The shadows bend much closer, pretending you are there. The piano finds the memory, the saxophone reveals the truth. The silence carries is deeper than it feels. The barstool left alone, trembling in the glow. Every vow you The night refuses mercy, the sorrows overgrown, the silence finds its echo in the barstool left alone. The dawn is faintly glowing, the bar is growing still, but still the stool is waiting for love it cannot fill. And though the forever it is trembling in the barstool left a bar without windows keeps the night inside. The smoke is curling slowly with nowhere left to hide. The piano paints the silence, the brushes sweep the floor, the shadows keep on waiting for who will not return. The glass is nearly empty. The candle starts to lean. The bass is slow and steady, repeating what has been. The silence holds a secret. The night is cold and true. A bar without windows remembers me and you. A bar without windows, trembling in the dark. Every vow we whispered left its fragile mark. The saxophone is crying for what the dawn won't show. A sorrow everlasting in a bar without windows. The morning will not enter. The night will never leave this place of endless sorrow, where all I do is grieve. And though the glass is broken, the silence still will grow. Forever I'll be haunted in a bar without windows. Where the ashtrays shine, the smoke still curls above. Each ember paints a picture of what we called our love. The bass walks slow and steady. The brushes paint the time. The silence speaks in shadows, a sorrow left in rhyme. Where the ashtrays shine, trembling in the hair, every vow we buried still lights the maze. The saxophone confesses, tender, torn, divine. The sorrow finds its story where the ashtrays shine. to silence, the shadows drift apart, but still the smoke is singing the memory of my heart. The piano holds the echo, the saxophone replies, each note a fragile question the silence can't disguise. Where the ashtrays shine, trembling in the haze, every vow we buried still lights the maze. The piano paints a sorrow the dawn cannot refine. The sorrow still is living where the ashtrays shine. The night begins to hide, but still the ashtrays shimmer where silence will reside. And though the day is waking, the memory is mine. Forever I will wonder where the ashtrays shine. The candle forgets to die, it flickers through the night, each flame a tiny memory of when you held me tight. The bass walks slow and steady, the saxophone replies, and in the fragile silence the truth is in your eyes. The candle forgets to die, trembling in the glass. Every vow we buried, shadows cannot pass. The piano holds the sorrow, the silence can't deny. A fragile flame still burning, the candle won't die. The smoke curls into figures, they dance across the wall. Their steps are fading whispers, love's eternal call. The glass reflects a shadow, a memory so near, but every note is breaking, dissolving into fear. The candle forgets to die, trembling in the glass. Every vow we buried, shadows cannot pass. The saxophone confesses in every tender sigh, a fragile flame still burning. The candle won't die. The dawn begins its breaking, the shadows start to fade, but still the flame is trembling with promises we made. And though the world is waking, the sorrow does not lie. Forever in the silence, the candle won't die. Your shadow sings in smoke, it lingers by the flame, each curl a fragile whisper that still recalls your name. The bass walks soft and heavy, the saxophone replies, and every note is breaking with silence in disguise. Your shadow sings in smoke, trembling in the light. Every vow we buried still haunts me in the night. The piano holds the memory no silence can revoke, a fragile song repeating. Your shadow sings in smoke. The candle bends to ashes, the glass reflects the past. The silence grows much deeper, too endless to outlast. The brushes trace a rhythm, a heartbeat faint and low. Your shadow keeps on singing in places I still go. Your shadow sings in smoke, trembling in the light. Every vow we buried still haunts me in the night. The saxophone confesses in every note it spoke, a fragile song repeating. Your shadow sings in smoke. Of day, and though the morning whispers, the silence does not choke. Forever I will listen. Your shadow sings in smoke. The piano forgets my hands. The keys are cold tonight. Each note a fading memory, dissolving out of sight. The bass recalls the silence. The saxophone replies, and in the trembling stillness, the truth behind the lies. My hands, trembling soft and bare. Every vow we whisper is still lingering there. The silence paints the memory. No morning understands. A fragile vow is breaking. The piano forgets my hands. The candle bends to ashes. The smoke curls in the glass. The shadows play their music of things that cannot last. The brushes trace a rhythm. The night begins to slow, but still the keys are waiting for what I'll never know. The piano for The piano forgets my hands. But still the keys are waiting for promises we made. And though the day is brighter, the memory still stands. Forever it is breaking. The piano forgets my hands. Their alley holds its secrets beneath the neon glow, a place where broken voices still whisper soft and low. The piano paints the darkness, the brushes sweep the rain, the bass recalls the sorrow that never will explain. The alley holds its secrets, trembling in the haze. Every vow we buried echoes through these ways. The saxophone confesses what silence won't repeat. A fragile vow still lingers where the alley keeps its secrets. The smoke curls into figures, the shadows bend and lean, the glass is cracked and empty, reflections left unseen. The candle bends to silence, the room is nearly still, but in the alley's memory, the promise lingers still. The alley holds its secrets, trembling in the haze. Every vow we buried echoes through these ways. The piano finds the memory, the bass keeps walking deep. A sorrow everlasting in the alley's vow to keep. secrets, it offers no release. And though the world is brighter, the shadows still repeat. Forever they'll be trembling where the alley holds its secrets. When the glass refused the light, the shadows came instead, each echo in the silence repeating what you said. The piano plays a sorrow, the brushes sweep the night, the bass recalls the memory when the glass refused the light. Refused the light, trembling cold and clear. Every vow we buried still lingers here. The saxophone confesses in every fading sight, a sorrow everlasting when the glass refused the light. The candle bends to darkness, the smoke curls in the air, the silence grows much deeper, pretending you are there. The shadows bend much closer, the night is heavy still, but in the trembling silence, the glass denies the will. When the glass refused the light, trembling cold and clear, every vow we buried still lingers here. The piano holds the sorrow the morning can't rewrite, a fragile vow eternal when the glass refused the light. The dawn begins its breaking, the shadows fade away, but still the glass remembers the promises we say. And though